Hi, I'm Jamie Kleeman with Green TV, and today we're spending time with Alex Mulcahy of Grid Magazine. Alex, thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
I wanted to start by asking you about your work with Grid Magazine.
Grid is a magazine that I started about 5 years ago. I've been publishing about 20. The core of the business has been music magazines, but I found myself getting very interested in sustainability issues, reading books by people like Michael Pollan and Bill McKibben, and feeling both inspired and terrified. And I thought that there needed to be a magazine, especially on a local level, that would kind of wrap everything up in the sustainability world, where you could get energy and green building and food. And it was just a little over 5 years ago that I started the publication.
I love that, and it sounds, I get what you mean when you say terrifying, because there is so much information out there and sometimes it doesn't feel approachable. So I feel like what a great platform that you must have to bring sustainable news in all of those different categories of life and make it approachable and something that people can digest.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the magazine, really, is to make it as accessible as possible, and for green, for people to think like green isn't something that's going to happen one day in this magical future, that so much of this stuff is happening right now, and there are so many amazing people in Philadelphia, I'm sure in any city, but Philadelphia is the one I know, where they're just doing innovative, smart, and just great work. So to make it, to put a human face on it, and to make it local and make it approachable, that was really the intention with Grid.
And I like that it's also probably highlighting that living a green life is not only important, but it can be fun and it's profitable. It's smart business. At Greenbuild, big emphasis has been placed on not only is it the right thing to do, but it is good business. So I think it's great that more people can read that, then they can become inspired to follow in those footsteps. I'm wondering how you've seen your audience change, or have you seen it change, and what the demographics are?
Well, it's surprising. The thing that surprised me the most is how female the audience is, and apparently that's not unusual. But our readership is somewhere around 72% female. Okay. I'm not going to make any sweeping gender comments that will get me into trouble. Right. But it spans a pretty good age range. It's not, people always assume like, oh, this is a young person's magazine, like this is a cool young thing, which is funny because I don't think of myself as either of those. But when we have events, we see a full spectrum of ages. I think there's a lot of older hippie types that are still, involved in this, and then there definitely is like an influx of young people as well. So it's I think a pretty good cross section. Right,
and you mentioned that you have a 1-year-old.
I do.
Is fun and exciting and busy. Now that you maybe are taking a different path and a change in your life, will your magazine reflect anything for families and parenting, or do you already have that in your magazine?
Some things. The part of what I wanted to do with Grid was to make a magazine that I would want to read myself. So as I'm changing, I think, oh, what about something on natural childbirth? Right. And I think that there are in education. And we haven't done anything specifically on parenting, but I think it's part of the mix, and as it becomes more on my horizon, more on my antenna, then it'll leak its way into the magazine.
Right. It's funny how interests change as your children grow up.
They sure do.
And I understand you've partnered with some different organizations, such as the Green Building Council. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's one of the keys to the success of the publication so far, has been partnering with great nonprofits in the city. And you're talking about the marriage of business and sustainability. The local chapter of the Green Building Council, right now we're doing something with the Sustainable Business Network. Fair Food, a great champion for local food. PASA, the Pennsylvania Association for Sustainable Agriculture, who advocates for farmers, and that's just some of them. Community Design Collaborative, they're great. But that's been, we've gotten a lot of support from them. We'll conceive publications with them, and then they help to introduce the magazine to their audience and sell ads. So
that's great.
Yeah,
so it's a
been
win-win.
terrific.
It broadens both of your readership.
It does, yeah.
That's great. Well, best of luck to everything you're doing.
Thank
with
you.
the magazine. It sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.